the quantitative estimation methodologies by point, which the student can get through the exams, periodic exams. So that as a result of that, the private academy could be run by the systems, not by the people's skills or natures. Because in the Edo era, there are so many private academies, but most of them are run by the charismatic the educators. So that's why most of the private academies could not last long, more than beyond the lifetime of that charisma teachers. But Kangien was one of the exception, and it lasted more than 80 years, even after the founder's death. And the only one reason why that academy was closed was because the new education system of the Meiji government spread, and the government ordered every prefecture to obey that rules. That's all. But the interesting thing is, even after the Meiji Restoration, that private academy still lasts 30 years more. So that that was a very good success story. And but at the same time, already the founder already knew about the defect of that system, because he developed the ranking system and scoring system. Then soon after, the student will focus on the how to get more points.
Right.
And they never try to think about the behind the lectures or something. So that is the same attitude of the modern businessman in the company. Most of them try to keep the rules. But if the company increase,
make the sales numbers.
Right, that's right. That is one of the very typical bad attitudes. So now most of the executive are focusing on and only interested in the revenue after the quarter or maybe after the 1 year.
KPIs, isn't it?
Right. So that KPI is very easy for everybody and very clear. But if we too much focus on the KPI, nobody try to think about. So that that kind of tendency already started in Japan at the end of the era. That is very interesting. So that always that founder cautioned to the students that you should be more essential to the issues.
That's difficult. That's really
very
difficult.
Ingrained in human nature.
So one of the solution is you yourself becomes the gentleman or more or live in a more moralistic manners. That is the only solutions. Otherwise, people tends to fall into the getting numbers and getting higher positions for the names. That's all.
Right.
I worked with an American company more than 30 years, and the evaluation system is very complicated and try to cover all aspects. But I tell you, they cannot make judgment for the follower. It's very difficult because they have completely truncated the moral area. And so if he got just subordinate show his performance instead of his subordinate, it's very difficult to figure he just righteousness or doing what kind of work he did. It's very difficult to evaluate if considering for the moral issues. It's very difficult. So that's the reason why in the future AI area we get into those areas. Human being cannot make judgment.
So that I think one of the criteria whether the AI actually understand the like a spiritual aspect of human activity or something, maybe whether the AI can create their own poem or not.
No, not poem. I'm talking about just Ed recognize. This PC is Ed, and he recognizes his who he is, and this AI understands who he is. Then I'm going to register for this PC. I'm Edo's evaluator, and she's going to. Could you tell me the truth? What he did for this job? She's going to tell me the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, 50% Ed did, but remaining another 50% is his followers did. She's answer. So evaluation, I just get information from her and get evaluation from his to more fair judgment. I can make it. Okay. So this is mandatory. This system should be installed in this PC 10 years later, so I can get more better performance evaluation for him, not only him. Okay.
But we are actually talking more about like a not just output. I mean, capture the output, the work, the numbers of lines of code, or all these things. That is one thing. But productivity, some cases, productivity can not be measured if it comes to getting a new idea for new business, or building up a new relationship, starting to develop connections with people that can bring you new opportunities. How do you measure that? That cannot be. That is kind of soft information, but you cannot capture that in KPIs or anything.
I'm going to ask you every day from PC. What did you today? She's going to ask you. You need to answer for her.
Right.
And you're talking some word for her, but she's going to tell.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Are you okay? I'm going to tell you what you said to your boss. Are you okay? No kidding, man. And he's astoundingly okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to correct what I said. This is 10 years later happened. This is okay. This is what else are you going to do by AI? Business process? No. 5 years later. We cannot do anything.
AI is fine for going concern by basically crunching out the numbers. By actually, the moment you start to define a project and you start to actually execute on everything you have decided, I believe that AI can contribute. But everything before that is going to be very, very tough.
Yeah, but you consider you see, I tell you, Citibank is 100% for sure animal form. Okay, Citibank. Citibank management. Okay, they have to control him. 100%. You should not do your allowances, but depend on the company. So AI is 100% for animal farm, 100% for free world, depending on you. You can, the company can settle the level of control. It's up to him, up to them. This is our future. 10 years later, we can do that. Of course, some kind of Chinese way is very risky. Chinese government want to control. They're going to expect some information. Of course, she's going to send information, to the government.
Exactly.
And then the government will going to order her, arrest him. Of course, you should arrest him.
But that's a very thin line because we already have everything.
Whenever you bring PC, you get into China, you're going to arrest it. Open the PC, arrest it. Right?
Right.
Because he said kind of sort of in word before. She recognized and send message to the Chinese government. This guy is bad guy, should be arrested.
But that's already like the intelligence agencies are already monitoring our email traffic, our telephone conversations, and they actually trigger a kind of a reaction the moment I talk about marijuana or drugs or terrorism or all these things. That's already in place.
Yeah, nothing impossible. Currently, Saudi King Salman will be leaking every kind of conversation what he said to the American government, right? And Trump did know that. So it means any kind of information is capable of leaking, right? So consider for 10 years later, IoT, what happened?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, so it's very scary.